Yo, what is up? Quickly gonna jump in here to ask you to check out my Patreon. I've got some super awesome rewards on offer at the moment, including an exclusive fact video on Shido Itsuka from Data Live, as well as an exclusive 3-video series on Kurumi Tokisaki, including her origins, a look into her relationship with her clones, and more on her power. These videos will also change throughout the year, so make sure not to miss out. As well as that, you'll get early access to my videos before anyone else, including early access to full and uncut episodes of my podcast, The 414 Show. I'm also planning monthly hangouts with Patreons where we can chat about absolutely anything you like, and your name will also be included in every 414 anime video. And that's not even everything. Head on over there yourself to check out what else is on offer. Your support means the absolute world, and it really helps making these videos possible. And be sure to follow me on Twitter for any Patreon updates. Links are all in the description below, and I hope you enjoy this video. What is up there? Welcome to a brand new video on 414 Anime. In today's video, we will be looking at the inverse forms of the Data Live series. Particularly, we will be looking into what the inverse form is, its abilities, and all the known cases of spirits that have inversed. There is a lot of information going into the inverse forms, particularly regarding Clipper crystals and Demon Kings, and I will probably make a separate video explaining those aspects in more detail. So make sure to let me know in the comments if you would like those videos making. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when new Data Live videos go live on the channel, and of course goes without saying, but there will be spoilers here, so you have been warned. So with that being said, grab yourself a beverage, let's roll intro and get straight into the video. Inverse forms, what are they? Well, when a spirit experiences a tremendous amount of negative emotions, they will inverse, in which both their appearance and emotions undergo a huge change. Appearance-wise, inverse forms look so good, man. Like, it's a real darker version of the spirit form. It looks menacing, intimidating, frightening almost, and in some cases, nice. The spirit's astral dress is altered, usually to that of a much darker theme, and also tend to be rather revealing, which of course is the noise I referenced to earlier. Now, the author actually explained in the afterword of volume 7 why the inverse form was designed to show so much more of the spirit's body. The reason these dresses are revealing is because he associates evil female characters with seductiveness. And no kidding with some of these designs, man. Again, nice. In terms of power, when a spirit inverses, their Rei-Ryoku energy plummets. This suggests that they are getting weaker, right? Well, no, the complete opposite actually, and a really interesting mechanic to this concept. The energy drops straight down to 0, but continues to drop further into the negative digits, meaning that the lower below 0 their energy drops, the stronger the inverse spirit is. An example of how much power an inverse spirit has over its normal form is that Toka was a AAA rank in her spirit form, but shoots up to a SS rank once she enters her inverse form. The spirit's angel is also replaced with a counterpart, and that counterpart is called a Demon King. It's also worth mentioning here that the Sephra crystal, the source of a spirit's power that contains their angel, is also transformed into a Clipper crystal that hosts these Demon Kings and gives the inverse spirit its power. Now, I'd like to go into the Clipper crystals and Demon Kings in more details, as there is a lot of really interesting information surrounding them, so let me know in the comment section below if you would like me to make that video explaining this. So back to this video, Westcott said himself that this is the true form of a spirit in the bordering dimension, as the form that the spirits arrive in the main dimension is but just their normal form. As we know, Toka has gone inverse on a couple of occasions, and she can actually recall just what it felt like going between those two dimensions. Toka stated that going into the bordering dimension felt as if she was simply falling asleep, and coming back to the main dimension felt like she was harshly being woken up. To me, this is super interesting, as it really confirms that the spirit is completely consumed and taken over by the inverse form, and really gives us an understanding at just how much negative emotion that they must be put through to reach this point. It's really scary stuff. Getting a spirit to inverse is very, very rare. Westcott said that in order to make a spirit inverse, you must put them through the abyss of despair, which is just insane. And, really adds to the absolute evil of this man. But again, we'll save his story for a future video. So let's look into known cases of a spirit inversing. So far, we have 5 spirits that have undergone this transformation, starting with the obvious Toka Yatagami. Toka inversed in season 2 of the anime when Ellen was about to kill Shido right in front of a helpless Toka's eyes. Toka's inverse power exploded in a blind rage, forcing Ellen, who is the strongest wizard in the world, to retreat, along with Westcott. The damage was definitely done as Toka's rage infernoed, causing the damage and destruction of everything within her path, and in her inverse form had no knowledge of her normal self, as she was even targeting Shido without hesitation, who she had registered herself as a threat. Shido manages to eventually get through to Toka through wielding Sandalphon, as the Dark Toka remembered and recognized the blade, which gave Shido the opening he needed to seal her. What is interesting here is though that this is the first inverse case we know of. Both Westcott and Kotori had knowledge about the inverse form, suggesting that other spirits had inverted before Toka. The second case was that of Origami in the events of season 3 of the anime. Origami had just become a spirit herself thanks to that of Phantom. Now, the trigger for her inverse transformation was traveling to the past to hunt down and kill the spirit that had murdered her parents and caused Origami a lifetime of both hatred and suffering. However, in trying to protect them, it was actually a rogue blast from Origami that struck and killed her parents, and in that moment she realized that the spirit that had caused so much pain in her life was none other than Origami herself. As you can imagine, Origami's mental state in that moment must have just completely shut down. She must have had such a rush of so many intense emotions hitting her all at once. The shock of it alone is surely enough to break even the strongest mind. As a result, Origami went berserk, losing all control. She fired upon everything and everyone within her sight. Her inverse form was completely different from Toka's in the fact that Origami was unresponsive, and Shido himself stated that her eyes were cold, dead, and looked like eyes that had completely given up of all hope. The third case is Neo Honjo, whose story I believe we will be following in season 4 of the anime coming this October. Westcott was again the cause of another spirit's inverse as he restored memories of Nia's torture at the hands of DEM that she had long repressed. The torture she endured must have been absolute hell for the memories alone to cause her the despair needed for an inverse transformation. Nia was also a very interesting case as once she had inversed, her Clipper crystal was removed, which caused her to revert and seemingly lost the ability to ever inverse again. Nia again is a very interesting case as she was the first spirit to have her Clipper crystal revealed. However, she was also the first spirit to have it stolen from them. The fourth case is the inverse of Mukuro Hoshimiya. Now, she had actually caused Toka to inverse for a second time by sealing away all of her memories of Shido, the most important person in Toka's life. This would backfire on Mukuro as she unintentionally severely injures Shido, which causes her to recover lost memories of her own adoptive family rejecting her. The fifth case happens in a particular timeline where Shido is actually killed by the hands of Ellen. Shido is struck down directly in front of Toka, Origami, and the Yamai sisters. The overwhelming despair of the loss and the image of their beloved's lifeless body caused all four of them to explode in a fit of blind rage. Now, this is some pretty intense stuff, and it's important to take note of the word I had mentioned earlier. Timeline. Yes, Kurumi Tokasaki manages to obtain her sixth bullet, Vav, that she had unintentionally sealed in Shido's body to send her own consciousness back in time to make sure these events were avoided. Talking of Kurumi, and man, how badly would I love to see what her inverse form looked like, because nice, she actually almost did. This I've actually covered already. As of this video's release, it is a Patreon exclusive, so head on over there if you would like to find out more about how Kurumi almost inverted and how she became a spirit in the first place. Finally, though she does not make an appearance in the events of the main story, there is an illustration of Yoshino in her inverse form. This was made for a Data Live art book, and man does she look awesome. Not for the noise, lollicons, but I just think her inverse form looks insane. And there we go, that was the inverse forms in Data Live explained. I love the concept of the inverse form and the designs of the evil versions of these spirits. Of course, again, let me know if you would like a video going into more detail on the Clipper crystals and Demon Kings, as there is some pretty interesting information, including some about the White Queen. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more Data Live videos, make sure to smash the like button and share this video with a fellow fan of this series. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. There is plenty more content like this in the works, and not just for Data Live, so make sure you do not miss what's to come. Huge shout out to Warwick, Animator22, Brian, Blake, Andrew, and Bistuna for supporting me on Patreon. Don't forget to head on over there yourself to check out the amazing rewards, including a super special awesome exclusive series for Patreons only. But that is it from me. Till next time, my fellow weebs. Peace!